podcast. I am thrilled to be back live with you all and with one of my all-time favorite Canadian friends. That's right. Fireworks for that. Mr. Stephen Brown, who is the CEO and co-owner and a co-founder of Fuse Create, which is an incredible independently owned agency based in Toronto with offices in Calgary and also stateside in Nashville, and a co-founder like myself. And you founded the agency in 2003, which is just a couple years before I did, meaning that we are both AKA old. But definitely super pleased to have you. So thanks for being here, Stephen.
Thank you so much for the invite. It's a pleasure to be here. It's sunny in Toronto, so let's have a great session.
Of course, a Canadian talking about the weather. I just love this.
We do a lot. All the tropes are true. So
no, this is great. And just for some of you who may not know, Noble West is part of Worldwide Partners, which is an association of incredibly fantastic independently owned agencies, which Stephen was, let's see, are you president removed? How do we call ex-official?
Past chair,
all the things. And so we get to see each other quite a bit and are always looking for ways to kind of support each other. So thank you. Okay, so I know that Fuse Create does incredible work across CPG. I think it's about half of your business, which obviously means food is a part of that because food fits squarely within CPG. And I think this is no surprise to anybody who knows me well. I think that the agriculture industry is part of the food industry, and I want farmers to think of the work that they do more as a food product and less of an ag industry product. I think it will help everybody, including consumers. So no surprise there. But what I was hoping to really kind of dive in with you, Stephen, was about some of the work you're doing. And I mean, Fuse does incredible creative work, and I know a lot of galvanization of that creative. Can you share a little bit how the team feels about working on food and kind of why it's why you've been so successful in this area?
Sure. I mean, I would start by saying people and their relationship with food is so strong. It's so primal type thing, and it's one of those things that just from our side of the business, who's we start with a whiteboard and we're looking at the client challenge. There's nothing more exciting than thinking about traditions or rituals or habits that happen, whether you're scarfing down a bowl of cereal on the run or planning a breakfast for getting your having family over for a big brunch or a big dinner type thing. There's everything from the non-rituals to extreme rituals around food. So I find, I've also worked heavily in banking, and I've worked in automotive. I've worked in a lot of different categories, but whenever it touches food, it touches a bit of your soul. It touches a lot of your family. It touches a lot of different aspects. And for us who are in charge of coming up with concepts and hopefully stimulated with tons of great creative, when you can get into those insights about humans, and cultures and patterns, it makes the job more dynamic and fun and truthfully easier. Like, advertising is not supposed to be complicated, but food allows you to open those doors into some really great connections with people.
Yeah. And I know that I don't think it's one of your founding tenets or your values is that you break bread. I remember learning that from Alina, one of your business partners, a couple of years ago. That was like a really important covenant, and like your client partnerships is like, do we want to break bread with these folks? So I think to that point, you've like really kind of wrapped that ethos in professionally as well.
Yeah, I think it's just who we are as people. That whether you're looking to work here or we're hoping you will come to work here, or whether you're going to be a client that we work with, if we don't have time to sit down and actually share a meal and learn about all the things behind each other, I don't know. But food makes it easy. Food makes it fun. And,
I know. Well, I like to have meals with you, so there's that.
Exactly. I find right now
with you.
When we're doing this sort of hybrid work model, our office is flex to come in when you want. It gets a lot of traffic. I'm always amazed by the number one driver of attendance is bagels. Like it's like
Okay.
people just love a simple bagel breakfast or bagel lunch, and you always double your attendance.
I think that's
Um,
a hot take though. I mean, I don't know, like breakfast tacos,
Oh,
you
I
know,
know. I want to try to amp it up a little bit. Oh, I think the Mexican influence would be very good. That
yeah,
might be my fall special. Okay, good idea.
absolutely.
Noted.
Okay, can you tell me? I know that Maple Leaf Foods is a large food company in Canada, and of course, what would we be having? Of course, we need to talk about something Maple Leaf related, right? I would love to know more about the Schneider's AI project. That seems like something that was super interesting, and kind of how you work across, because we work with a lot of portfolio food companies as well. I would love to kind of hear how Schneider sort of emerged as that project and kind of more how the team approached it.
Sure. From a context perspective, like Maple Leaf Foods is the largest packaged meat provider in Canada.
Okay.
So everything from bacon to I'm going to use the wrong
Yeah.
word in the lexicon, but I call them hot dogs. But through to ham, all that type of stuff, prepared meats, and Schneider's is one of their largest portfolios of brands. Um, so they're a brand who you're always trying to keep top of mind with clients, and we do a lot of media for them. We do a fair bit of creative for them, and they need to make sure that people, when you're thinking about these cultural moments, whether it's as simple as prepping your lunch for your child, or whether it's planning your meal for a Sunday or Saturday get together, that were they're top of mind. What was happening with the specific one you're asking me about is Schneider's AI, and
Hmm.
we had some fun with this. It was probably, I think it was a year and a half ago when you and I specifically have been living through the AI revolution, evolution, whatever you want to call it. And it's always, and at that time, specifically a year and a half ago, uh, the visual side of AI, so the creation of images and people and stuff like this, was going through a really wonky stage. It has improved, so I want to make sure we're clear on some of that stuff. But it
Right.
also got our industry a bit nervous about, am I going to be, as an art director, am I going to be replaced by AI,
Right.
or as a writer, am I going to be replaced by AI? And
Yeah.
at the time, there was a headline that kept showing up in feeds and on news, traditional news and stuff like this, about the quality of AI artwork or design. And we were like, really? So, and this is the creative process. You start going through it, and it was client conversation about these things. Just got a spark of an idea from a conversation, breaking bread with clients. And it went from there, but we started doing basic searches on our AI platforms about what different meals looked like and how they generated AI generated meals, and it wasn't pretty. So we just had some fun with it, which we did a campaign out of just saying the difference between show Schneider's product and then show the exact same description, put it into AI, what you got,
Hmm.
and it was not appetizing. So
Okay.
it was for us, it was a play on the fact that we use AI all the time. We're not degrading AI, but AI is an amazing ideation tool. It's
Hmm.
not the final product. You
Right.
can't get away from the beauty of, and when you're talking about food specifically, in this industry, we spend a lot of time to make sure that food is captured the way we want it to be captured. It is meant to be appetizing and exciting to eat,
Hmm.
and AI did not do it any favor.
Hmm.
And so it really was just a statement to say, listen, as just like the quality of our product, the
Yes.
quality of how we show our product cannot be replaced.
Right. Right. And then did you feel like was there like strategy that came out of it that like touched consumers, or that like the growers or the producers, like, or the farmers who touched it, were like, were there any sort of like key learnings from that?
Yeah, the strategy came directly from the research we were seeing about, around the what the AI industry might have been claiming about the power of AI from a visualization perspective
Mhm.
versus what the industry was feeling from not an agreement. So that was where the insight came, from that tension.
Right.
Truthfully, I would say a lot of farmers are happy that they're one of the industries that I don't think AI is going to replace a ton of, might make some efficiencies and things, but the quality of the food and the quality from farm to table
Mhm.
uh, needs to still maintain centuries old traditions of how they cure meats and how they plant things
Mhm.
like this, and how they,
Mhm.
and the quality and process. So it wasn't as much driven from the
Mhm.
farmers, the farmer side of the equation, and we're working, by the way, with the manufacturer, obviously, but
Yeah.
as it was from more of attention
Yeah.
in just with technology.
Yeah. Well, cool. Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, I have obviously am following AI closely in agriculture. I think that the efficiencies that can come with it, from reporting to business planning to like even like supplements that are added to the soil additive.
Yeah.
There's like some best practices for sure that are coming with it. I know that on our family farm we've been definitely utilizing it. Okay, now at the risk of having this podcast become an egg podcast, because I just recorded an incredible episode with one of our clients called Chris Nichols, who's the CEO and third generation farmer at Chino Valley Ranchers. We just had a great conversation about eggs. I would love to talk about Burn Bray eggs.
Mhm.
Apparently, one of the largest egg businesses in Ontario, if I understand that correctly, sixth generation. And can you just sort of like, I would love to hear kind of a point of view of like your team. Obviously, whenever you're working with like the owner operator, sixth generation, it it's a big responsibility, right? You know that this, you're talking about a family. You're not talking about shareholders and like, out of touch like CMOs. You're talking about like people who really actually like this impacts their lives and many of the lives of the other families who support them. How does the team approach that? I would love to know kind of from like Fuse Create does incredible experiential work also. Like how did the sort of like experiential and marketing and creative like approach, how do you work with those kind of like sixth generation farming families, which are far and few between? I think it's like less than 2% of all agriculture comes from more than G2, because
Yeah.
what, farming with your cousins can be hard.
Yeah. um, well, been working with Burnbrae for 6 or 7 years. It could be 8 or 9. I'm getting
Okay.
track time. And they're, I would actually say, I think they figured out corporation and family quite well from how we see it.
Okay.
Uh, what I There's a mix on their team. It's my team who works on it directly. I'm always amazed and love the stories when they meet with them. Even if you're a corporate employee versus a family member who is also a corporate employee, but there's some are born into it and some are hired into it. Um, it is a family business, and you don't ever shy away from that. You lean in and celebrate that. But they've done a really amazing job with my team of making sure they understand the background of the business, of the family, about the
Mm,
distribution and the production of, and how important this is. And so when I look at it over the years, I don't know how many times, but I know the team's gone down to actually meet on the farm, to see the farm, to understand where it's come,
okay.
where the core product comes from. And there's a few farms, not just one. Um, and so I know that part of the conversation with them is, even if the campaign has nothing to do with the business, it's more about a product. It's
Mhm.
important that the heritage of the family, and that this is a family-run business, is not tucked to the side or pushed in the corner.
Mhm.
It's and to me, that's partly their legacy, but it's also smart business. I mean,
Mhm.
it's food, it's rituals. It's, you want to know that there's people behind this, and especially if you've got generations of people who take your product seriously and
Mhm.
bring it forward. What I would say they do very well, though, is the family connection to the business is part of it, but it's not the lead. It's really about, we're working on the ancillary products, so eggs and omelets and cartons and various
Yes.
ready-made eggs and stuff like this. Um,
Here's
you
an acronym
know,
for you, Stephen. It's called value add.
Thank you. Value adds, lots of value adds. Mark that down. And we have a specific role there, whether it's from the
Mhm.
media side or the creative side. It's to get people trial. It's all about trial. How do I get more people trying these products? Once you try it, we know the intake and uptake for repeat purchase goes from there.
Mhm.
So there's always a marketing core essence that has to be, a core marketing challenge that needs to be adapted. So whether the family comes into the story or not, it's not necessary. But it is important that we, as their partner, marketing partners, understand this isn't a massive conglomerate, publicly traded corporation. This
Right.
is a family-run business, and it's really important that you understand that we manage our business, we manage our budgets like a family manages budgets.
Yeah.
Those are core elements. So
Yeah.
it's a key ingredient, which I love how my team loves working with it, because there is that sense that they get from it. It's a very different client in a good way.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I just love that. I mean, and I think like your background, again, I know that you've worked across frozen chicken to like municipalities to banking. And I love the well-roundedness. I also just think it's a testament to Fuse Create that your team and you are able, from the top down, are able to connect so authentically with different types of clients. And I think that that's something that we've really at Noble have really been like, it's really the idea, like creative really matters, and like creative mindset. And I just love that as a more of a full service, well, like multi-industry agency, you guys have done some really incredible work. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Our mantra is
owner. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Our mantra is turn heads. So if we're doing our job right, whether it's food or automotive or banking, our job is to make consumers just turn their head and notice. And I will say, when it's food related, it's easier. It's more exciting. It's dynamic. So,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter what side of the equation you're on, from what stage the food's at. It's really important that people understand what's behind the food that they're eating.
And I'm just like wondering if sort of like your Toronto roots, like, I mean, Toronto is such a melting pot, right? Incredible diversity. And with incredible diversity comes multicultural food options and heritage. I mean, that's part of the, the delicious beauty of it all. I'm wondering if that sort of like informs the position.
Yeah, it does a lot. I would say the market that we're in, but we do a lot in the US, and it's not radically different because there's a lot of different nationalities in both countries.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is to make sure that you build a team, whether it's on the strategy side, the account, and definitely the creative side, that has lived experiences in other cultures to understand the dynamics, or is smart enough to understand how to find them. And finding them can just be as simple as we work on this amazing street where, you can go from a classic American cheeseburger to some Vietnamese, to some Korean, and it's really important for our team to make sure that we're always celebrating different foods, because, food and culture is seen easiest through food, through the palate. And so it's great that we have it. I will say it's also important for us to challenge ourselves, because what you get at restaurants isn't exactly the same as what you get at homes. And so then there's that next level. It's fascinating. People, different cultures' relationship with instant coffee is radically different. India versus, Canadian or American. Who knew? But you're not going to find that stuff out until you've had dinner or.
Who actually likes instant coffee? I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, my husband David is addicted.
Oh, jeez.
So
I'll have to talk about this. So we don't have a chat.
But the South Asian, I don't want to be the one to claim it.
Really?
All South Asians, but it's popular in certain other Asian markets where it's really popular, and certain European ones where it's something. It's a cultural thing where your grandma or an aunt would make you instant coffee, and we look so many. Sort of Caucasian North Americans look at it as you want to hear the whistle of the sound of the steam and the machine bring you this perfect
experience.
It's not for everybody, but you don't learn that until you've gone to someone's house in another area and sat with their parents. And that's sort of.
I would love every part of that, as you know, and I would enjoy that sip by sip. I just love being part of people's families, and relationships matter so much to me, and I would love that. So please, anybody invite me for instant coffee.
I'll sign you up.
I will come over. But I'm fascinated. I'm gonna do a little homework on this. Well, Stephen, as always, you're such a pal, and thank you for doing this. Thank you for coming on board the Farm to Fame podcast. And
I love it.
I appreciate you, and thank you for being such a great role model and a dear friend. And bye, everybody.
Thank you.
See you soon.